because there's things that words can't express, and especially discussing instrumental music, non-lyrical music. It's something that will give you superpowers. It really will give you superpowers, literally. Only a minority of people in the world do this. Only that enough should be extremely valuable for everybody listening.
It's probably better. It's to your advantage that you have this raw side to music and more intuitive and less bounded by rules that were given to you.
It's funny how something so abstract, you were just mentioning, that's really abstract. You were kind of painting, and person A, person B, person C, yeah, they're all going to say different things, but they're all going to agree on a bunch of things. And I think that's what's most interesting, the part that we agree on. The differences are very interesting too, don't take me wrong. But the fact that we agreed on so many things, and music is exactly like that. A minor chord is a minor chord, period. Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us today. Music is life. This is what this conversation is going to be about, and hopefully not just this conversation, but many, many, many more. That's the idea. I can't tell you how excited we are to do this, and I think the title says it all. Music is life. Life is music. We want to talk about how we do music, about music in general, the effect that music has in our lives, music as a language, and it's just, we're going to do it for fun, really. That's it. We spend so much time with Danut, talking about these things almost maybe every other day or so. We spend hours on the phone and we do music, and why are we not sharing that with the world? It's so much fun. Music is life for us. That's really what it is. So he made me laugh. He made me laugh a second ago because I was giving him a little bit of a taste of what I had in mind, and he's like, "Dude, you really put a lot of thought into this." And I think that's very illustrative of the relationship that we have. He's a pro. I sometimes overthink matters, but in music, it's extremely helpful at helping me handle life. It's really like a handle where I hang on for dear life sometimes, but it's also super fun. It's just crazy fun, and both of us have been doing it since the very first day we were alive. So it's really super exciting. So I think it's time for official introductions, and let's kick things off with a little bit of a confession. So Bastien the artist, right? It isn't exactly the name on my birth certificate, right? I pulled it out of thin air. I mean, who knew dodgy Google's algorithms with copyright craziness would lead me to, choose a pseudonym for music, like a stage name or something like that. But that's actually what I did. And I think it landed me with this gem. And, Bastien the artist has a nice ring to it. Maybe in a different episode, I'll tell you all the edits that my birth name, Leo Perez, gave me. There's like hundreds of people who make music called Leo Perez, and some of them do rap, some of them do cumbia, some of them do death metal, some of them are actually DJs, and some of them are actually kind of popular. So it was an either I was getting paid for music that I didn't do, and my royalties were going to them. Long story short, I think Bastien the artist is amazing, and that's me. Nice to meet you, everybody. So that's how that came to be. Long story short, but let's talk piano. I'm no prodigy, but I've got a deep love for piano and for music, and I think when I get a piece right, it's like it speaks right from a deeper place within me, and I think people who are into music can understand that. Especially when I'm in composer mode, that's where I really live. Not so much being a concert pianist or something like that, which I'm not, but creating instrumental tracks that resonate with something deep inside. Vocal music, sure, I like it too. I love it, but I want to dive headfirst into the instrumental world with my friend Danut, because that's been our jam for 45 years, at least my jam. And I really can't wait to share with you. But that's enough about me. Let's get into what really matters, the music and the man itself. I will introduce the maestro, Mr. Danut Morishan. So before you let the man of the hour speak, I want to give you guys a quick lowdown on my buddy, Danut Morishan. If you followed my other channel or my other music, we go way back, like way back. We gotta say, out of all the violinists and musicians that cross paths with, this guy's got something special, something you can't quite put into words. It's like he's got this magical connection to music that just flows out of him effortlessly. And I know some people use that description for a lot of musicians, but I really, not a lot actually, just a few, but I really mean it, every sense of the word. I mean, he works hard, he works really hard, but when you see him play, it's like the notes are doing all the heavy lifting. Not him, but the music itself. And then it's just sort of guiding them along like it's the easiest thing in the world. And I know he's probably going to deny this, but it's what I think. I think it's just amazing. I've composed pieces that I thought were okay, and decent stuff for me, for my mundane ears. But then Danut picks up his violin, plays it, and suddenly it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. It's way better every single time. It's way better than I imagined it. And we've been working for years, many years, and that still happens. So that just tells me he's got this knack for making you feel that he's reading your mind, your musical mind, and he's a professional. But it's also that soul connection that not every musician can have. He has it. And I've met, obviously many musicians in my life. It's just incredible, really incredible. I've met people in my, where I was born in Colombia in South America or here in South Florida. And I can honestly say, working with him is one of the biggest privileges of my life. Not to mention it's a hell of a lot of fun because he's fun too. And that's why we want to do these thoughts. But anyhow, I want to let him talk. Danut is just an insanely talented musician. He's gonna probably deny it, but I'm here to tell you who he is. He's one of the most fun people you'll ever meet. We've had countless hours of conversations, and we talk just about everything. And that's why we're together here. We want to bring you into that vibe. That's what this is about. Just to chill with us, to talk about music, talk about life. Music is life. Enough for me. Danut, the stage is yours, my brother. Tell people who you are.
I think they already heard. Thank you for the introduction. I've been a violinist since I was 4, and now I'm close to 44. So. It's even the math is becoming hard at this age, but Leo did a wonderful job. I'm not going to talk about myself. It's great, and somewhat I don't recognize myself. Who's he talking about? That awesome person? Can't be me. But actually, I wanted to say thank you to Leo for inviting me into this project and into the recording project that we've been doing for probably since 2003 or 2005 or I don't remember, somewhere 20 years back, and it's been an amazing journey to see you compose and write your music and fearlessly put it out there and expose it to the fire and creating some awesome work. And thanks for inviting me to record this violin, 3 violin parts. which Leo just created out of his imagination, and I'm sure there will be so many people enjoying this song as much as we have enjoyed working on it and working together.
Yeah, thank you, man. So, just really quick, I want to tell people Danut is his alma mater. Actually, it's here locally in Boca Raton.
Big shout out to Lane University, to the conservatory.
Yes, amazing musicians, and amazing faculty in general. You know, it's incredible. We're so lucky to have him here, and he introduced me to that whole, I guess, all the projects and all the wonderful work that they do. And then he left. You know, you're no longer in South Florida. That's why we're doing this via Zoom. But he's a true child of this amazing school. He's just so you know, he's got this amazingly successful company. I hope you remind me plugging it. It's Sunset Strings. Yeah, he's got a master's degree on violin performance and I think other studies. I'm sorry if I'm getting. I've known you forever, so it's like thinking, you know, what does my brother go to school to? I completely forget. You know, you're just a family to me. But you know, he's been going at it very seriously. He's a very serious musician. But he's also, like I was saying, extremely good at interpreting what sometimes the composer doesn't know himself or herself. So that's what's so special. And he's a very dear friend of mine, of course, as you can tell. So ideally, and you can correct me if I'm lying here, we're going to be partnering. You know, he's not a guest, really. He's my partner in music, you know. You know, don't thank me for inviting you here because
I have no idea what I'm doing
together.
Here, but I'll go along with Leo's plan.
Yes, exactly.
Talked about this.
Sorry,
this was
man.
planned.
Just in case you didn't know,
we have some cameras or set up.
In case you didn't know, sorry. You know, now you can't get out. but that's the idea. We've been sort of partnering already for a long time. But yes, so I was just telling everybody really quick, Sunset Strings, a crazy successful company in Central Florida, Central and on the West
Bay
Coast
and Orlando,
also.
Mostly.
You know, he yes, and you know, I guess I can, you know, let you talk about it if you want more. But that's not just what he has done in his life. I mean, the work that we've done together with Viano, you know, it's just one of those people. I was thinking, you know, the other day, who's this Danut that shows up on your pictures all the time, and you know, who's this guy? You know, and I think I was having a couple of drinks with friends, and I don't know why I said this, but this is what I said to my friends is like, he's that kind of guy your mother warned you about. That guy that's super nice, and that you think there's something else going on because he's super nice, but then you find out he's also smart, and then you find out that he's also talented, and you're like, okay, he's got to have you know, some low point that's really dark. And you know, I'm 45 years old, he's 40 now. I haven't seen that dark part yet, but whatever it is, it's helping him make wonderful music. So he's just a very, very, very excellent professional, a very dear friend, an excellent dad. And you know, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little personal, but that's what we're going to be doing here. This is fun stuff. This is very intimate. You know, we're going to talk about and joke about things because that's how we make music. You know, music is something extremely natural for both of us. And the podcast medium of YouTube, for instance, it's amazing because now we have hours to go crazy, right, and talk about these things. Especially people like you and me, why the hell not do it? It's almost a crime not to do it, you know. It's very, I think it's extremely important for people in general to see how real things are between people who work in music, super pro like him, and semi-pro like me, semi-amateurish, you know, because I did go to the conservatory when I was, you know, also like 5 or 6 or something. But I didn't graduate. I don't have a master's degree. I'm like, you know, I did have some excellent maestros after that, you know, who helped me. But I never graduated, you know, and I still have a hard time sight reading music. And, you know, I have to count lines sometimes. So what the hell am I reading here? I'm that kind of a musician, but I write a lot of music, you know. And Danut has been fantastic because he... number one, he coaches me, you know, patiently, but also he appreciates the musicality of everyone. You know, he's not making judgments like, okay, you know, you lazy bastard, you should kind of like to school like me.
It's probably better. It's to your advantage that you have this raw side to music and more intuitive and less bounded by rules that were given to you, you know, and so there is an advantage, I think, that maybe you can enjoy it if you know, if you can, and but obviously knowing more about it, it's great, and that's why we're here. Everybody's here to learn more, and it's no matter at what level you are, you can still keep going and keep learning and make yourself smarter and more I know,
alive. More alive. That's what it is. Music is life, brother. Yeah, and that's why we're doing this. In my view, you know, I don't know if that's what you had in mind.
Thanks for the say. Yeah,
it's yeah, and you know that not every musician can be like that, especially when you have professional musicians like yourself. School sometimes molds you in a way that, oh, so you didn't graduate. Oh, it isn't that. You know, I'm not sure, you know, I would deal with somebody who's going to give me a crappy score of music that I can barely understand, you know. But listen, there's Hans Zimmer, it's one example. And it's not one example. It's not like he's the exception. No, there's a ton of musicians like him, really talented musicians, you know. Jean-Michel Jarre, Vangelis, I mean, the list goes on, and obviously rock musicians, you know, crazy good rock musicians. Don't even get me started there. So, you know, it's really something that there's no such thing as bad music, you know, like a bad music genre or a bad music school or a poor music sort of learning. You know, there's just different types of coming into music and living your life. Danut gets it, you know, and he not only gets it and accepts it, but he embraces it, you know. So that's why we work so well together.
If I can add a couple of things, because Leo talked a lot about me, and that's all good about the music education, but that's not all. I think Leo had totally different experiences that shaped him and brought him to where he is now, and that includes programming, coding. He's a genius at anything computer. I can pretty much ask him. I go to him before I go to Google, and I'm probably very annoying for that reason. Sorry, Leo, but you are just very good at these things, and then creating things. Leo is super creative with not just music. Of course, he's his main passion, and I get inspired by this passion, seeing it and being around it. And but besides the music, he's super talented in creating videos. And if you have been following Leo's work, and I should say Bastien Diarga's work, yes, you can see the multifaceted creative personality that Leo brings into the world. So I can appreciate this, and it's great.
Awesome, man. It's amazing, brother. Well, great. All right, guys. So we've been cooking something pretty special. It's a piece of music that's close to our hearts, at least to mine. I don't know if you want to give everyone the lowdown, do us the honors. The notes, or should I tell
I can
what it is?
Tell from my perspective if you like. I don't really want to do.
Yeah. Yes, I want you to. Yes, please.
It must be a couple of months ago. Yeah, 2-3 months ago, Leo approached me with this project, with this song called Parabola Destinare. And it's a song that what I heard first was a piano accompaniment with just beautiful harmonies. And so then Leo sent me over the violin parts. I looked at them and some fingerings, and then we started recording. And so that's what I remember. I might remember more the more the more we talk, but that's about how I got introduced to it. How did it come about from your perspective? What inspired it?
I wanted I wanted you to introduce it because I love the way you approach this, because you're a professional. So you're a technician, a masterful technician at music, as you should be. And the day you stop being, I'm going to slap him, because it's important that you keep that going. And you obviously, if you lose the soul of it, then we have a bigger problem. But it's equally important. And notice that the way he presented it is basically matter of fact. I love it. I'm different. I'm going to give you the other side of things, and I think that's why we work together so well. Because you may hear me talking a lot, and you're like, okay, would you please stop it? Let Danut tell you the technical part, and we get to the bottom of it. Or it may be the other way around, like, okay, Leo, I kind of like, how you're tripping with all this stuff, So it's that's why we have so much fun, because we have those two perspectives always going on. And that's why, my wife approaches me sometimes, and it is like, Leo, but what the hell is wrong with you guys? Sometimes you guys are talking, and it's like 4 hours. And who does that these days? And you both are super busy guys. He has this super successful company. I have a relatively big company as well. Not music related, unfortunately, not yet. But and we still do that. And sometimes there are these long pauses where we don't really say much. We're just digesting all the stuff that we say to each other. And it's kind of funny, but it's also true, because it's really helpful to have those two, I guess, perspectives that combine and complement each other so perfectly. So really quick, because I know I'm talking a lot, I want to get into the music. Again, that's who I am. So this piece, as you can probably tell from the title, dives deep into the themes of destiny, Parabola Destinare. So it's like a parable of the destiny, right? A metaphor of destiny and will, how things are gonna develop in our fortunes in this life. So as a journey, of course. So before we dive into this, I'm just going to say, I'm not really sure what I'm doing either, so whatever word that comes out of my mouth, it's just it's an approximation, but really music does the heavy lifting. especially in the capable hands of Danut. You know, and that's why listening to the music is actually better, because I express myself better that way. You know, it's like, and let's say you're not into music, you know, and you're running into this podcast because maybe somebody, you know, sent it to you or something. It doesn't matter. This is super helpful. I have some friends who don't like music, believe it or not. You know, it just always blows my mind that some people don't listen to music ever. Like, you know, years pass and they don't listen to music. I know people like that, you know, so it's crazy. But, you know, we'll have finding someone who's totally out of sync with music is like searching for a needle in a haystack. But no, they do exist. And they actually, for me, it's like saying like they're not into dogs, you know, it's something like blows your mind. Oh, you don't love dogs, you know. But we all beat to a different drum or a different, what's the saying, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, like they got a beat in their heart, like literally, they do. We're born with this inner DJ spinning the tracks of our lives without needing, you know, formal music education. So even if you don't listen to music, you are music, you have a heartbeat, you know, and this, we all have, even if we deny it, and again, I'm not judging, there's some people who may not be into music, that's fine. But we do have a sort of musicality that is as natural as breathing. I don't know if you agree, brother, but I mean, this piece of music is for me, it's the best example of that, because it just flows. You know, it's when you find yourself tapping, you know, your fingers at something, or you know, maybe the car's making a noise, your microwave oven or something, or your, you know, all these beeps that follow us in our daily life. For me, it's very easy because you're always, you know, coming up with patterns in your head. But those patterns are there, you know, sometimes they're visual, sometimes they're, you know, something else. But they do translate into something, and that's what this music is about. Why don't we get right into it? You wanna listen to the beginning? Okay. All right, great. So I'm going to play it up until second 40. So from the very beginning to the 40th second. And let me just play that here on the tablet. And I'm going to let Danut comment on it. Let's see if I can make this thing work. Yeah. Okay, so those are roughly the first 40 seconds of it.
So that was the very beginning, the introduction. I asked Leo to, along with the music and on top of the notes, to write some inspiration, some description of the music. This idea is not new. Of course, people like Vivaldi wrote programmatic music, and it was helpful for the imagination to open up. And so Vivaldi's famous seasons have little notes on top of the actual music, and so this was very inspiring for me to have. And the first note is warm introduction. It's mezzo piano, so kind of moderately soft. And then it's going. He asked me to do a growling effect, kind of like so slowly deforming into a noisy effect and like dirtier. morphing almost in a raw growl. So the way I imagined this and was able to do that on the violin is kind of get close to the bridge, and you get that glassy sound. So that's the ponticello effect on the bridge. And then the raw growl continues with noise artifacts, losing shape and control, expressing some lack of complete control, yet going up like reaching for some saving grace. So that was where the noise stopped. And then we return to the raw growl, but softer now. And there is another note here. Would you like me, Leo, to read all the notes?
Whatever you want to do, maybe.
I think so, yeah.
Whatever you want
I
to
think
do,
it's
baby.
very interesting
All right.
because this is basically what the music
Sure.
is. So,
yeah, man.
In
Go for it.
words, and it's rare to describe music in words, and words are not that important. It's an idea. It's kind of like when multiple people look at the painting, they can see multiple things and they can imagine things. So yes, the words are here and they come from the composer. So I think that's even more important to know. And then you can take it with your imagination wherever you please when you listen to the songs. I think that's fair enough for everybody. So playing progressively softer at this passage, losing control again with less vibrato, notifying the listener the raw growl is coming back, but much softer this time around. And then the growl returns, and then feel free to improvise, adding noises. And I think I sent you some samples of some, not sure what exactly was used in the end, but kind of like dirtier sound effects, wood touches. Not sure, did I do any of these in the,
Yeah, you did. Some of them, to be honest with you, were lost in the mix. It sounded like artifacts that weren't that interesting. If it was like a solo violin, or maybe a very little piano, that would have been cool. So it sounded good in my head. But then when we were, when I was actually down to the mixing stage of things, it just sounded like noise, But you did capture the idea perfectly, to be completely fair. We're still mixing this stuff, actually. Danut's just told me, maybe lower the growl, maybe it's a little too loud. So what we just listened to, I haven't lowered it yet. Maybe you guys, when you're listening to this on YouTube or watching it on YouTube, it will be lower by then. I agree. Basically, most of the... that's why we can work together well, actually, because I do agree maybe on, 80% of his suggestions. I don't like to be paralyzed. I like to move on and do something else. And I think you appreciate that, but that's one of the things. So, but yeah, man, I'm sorry. I don't know if you wanted to say something else.
No, I think that was it, because we arrived right at the point where the melody is about to start.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, you basically said everything that, I wanted to mention, because, you read my comments on the score. So, again, he interpreted it in a masterful way, much better than what I had imagined. And not just because I want to, make him look good for the podcast. And no, I mean this. I mean, I really mean it. My sister is a violinist, and one of my best friends in my native Colombia was a violinist, and excellent musicians in their own right. But nobody reads my mind like this dude does, and he still can't believe me, but it's true. Anyhow, Everything you mentioned, I guess what the trippy and interesting part of these things, what really gets me going, that's why I play piano and I mess with music every single day, hours, at a time, every single day. It's because there's more than just the music, right? So this stuff that you were reading, it's funny how something so abstract, you were just mentioning, that's really abstract. You were kind of painting, and person A, person B, person C, yeah, they're all going to say different things, but they're all going to agree on a bunch of things, They are going to agree on a bunch of things, and I think that's what's most interesting, the part that we agree on. The differences are very interesting too, don't take me wrong, but the fact that we agree on so many things, and music is exactly like that. A minor chord is a minor chord, period. And you're not going to be. There's some cultural, differences that some people may say, "Hey, that minor chord that sounds happy to me." Sure, but still in their head, it's still a minor chord. Maybe they call it something else. Maybe it sounds happy to them. Maybe doesn't matter. But it's still there's this abstract thing that is very much consistent from person A, B, C, D, So it's that's why it's such a universal language, And this segment right here, just to move on, I'm having so much fun talking about it, it's like this. There's this sense of something cooking, right, in the darkness. That's what I had in my head. So something is cooking in the darkness. Something is about to take shape. I'm not talking about like in a movie, like a soundtrack of a movie necessarily. No, it's just, again, deeper, more primal, more fundamental. Something that comes before all those cliches. These few notes, that technique that Danut was using. It's like something cooking in darkness. If from that emptiness. It's like this conscious energy emerges, and suddenly the stage is set, right? And that's when we end that introduction, because it's feeling like this growl is like, it's empty, but sometimes there's something coming in out of consciousness, and it's like music right from the dawn of existence, that sort of thing. And that's the introduction. That's why I wanted to do that. So. And you can feel that ostinato pattern already. Very simple, just C, G, A, da 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 da. And it's hinting at something inevitable in my head for some reason. It's like something that's around the corner. You can feel it building also. Almost like the shark coming to the moon or something. But it's soft again. It's like rising from an empty space. So that's the introduction, guys. So Danut, we want to play now from second 40 all the way to minute 122. Sure. I'm using this app. Okay, go. So I'm going to stop it right there, because that's where the development sort of takes over the melody and everything. What are your thoughts, man?
Well, this is the first theme, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love this ostinato, man. It's like it kind of grows on you. because it's here and it comes back at the end, and I'm not sure. Did you put it throughout the piece?
Yeah, the this little teeth. That's pretty much throughout the piece. I mean, if it's not that, it's something very close to that. Just those three notes, dot 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 dot. I mean, it's just like a beat, you know. And it's always three upward notes. That's how the interval was set up. And the melody. That's what I'm calling the ostinato. I mean, a repetitive thing, you know. And then the melody, which is very simple. It's also it's a play on those. Two notes or three notes. Well, it's two notes, but we repeat the first note like that. Very simple stuff.
And then it goes into the. And then I saw you took that, and later on, I guess we'll talk about it when we get there. But it's good to point it out because it starts here and it starts simple like this.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes. And so on. It's really cool. It's how you put it all together. It's really nice. And I'm just looking at the first violin part. Behind this I have the second and third, and they are equally stellar. And for example, there is a passage in the second violin. Maybe we'll get to it. They all are part of an ensemble. It's a full orchestra. I was surprised actually today when I heard the mix, the latest mix. It has even more instruments than I imagined, and especially from the beginning where we started. Remember, with just the piano track, and to have it at this level of magnificence and what it can be further, this music, it's really gorgeous. So,
by the way, if you have some criticism that you like, the one you normally give me, and you want to do it here, I think it's super valuable.
Let's talk about that.
And now,
there's so many things, man. No. Let me think. No, I don't think so. So just listening to the mix, I was looking for like.
Oh yeah, there's too many things going on.
Like
maybe.
what can be improved here, and I think I mentioned those growly parts, which I imagined them as some kind of ghosts floating around the room, like zooming by really quick. And so I asked Leo if he could, that's
so helpful.
Like pan his left and right, so that there is some kind of dynamic motion there. But other than that, I mean, it's not really criticism. That's just like it's a taste. It's my taste of that particular part, But let me think really well.
But if I may, yes, and Danut is you were saying something really, really important. We get in this defensive position sometimes that doesn't help us grow. And we don't have that. I mean, we have some because we're humans, right? We're friends and whatever, but we may get defensive sometimes, especially when it's creative work. But I feel this fantastic energy, and I learn so much from you, brother, all the time. This was a great example, like, hey, give me criticism, and you're like, I know what you mean, Leo, but or Bastien, whatever. I again, it's still funny to me to call Bastien. It's all for copyright. It's just Leo is fine, especially with you. It's just the name of the band. That's our band, okay? Danut and Leo, we have a band, and it's called Bastien the Artist. Get it? We have another band too called Viano. We have two bands. Anyhow, back to the topic. Yes, absolutely. Oh, we have things to tell you, really cool things. But getting back to the topic, it's you know, and sometimes I hear the hesitation and you, like when you want to tell me something, like maybe because you're a deeply kind person, you are one of the kindest people that I've met, which is amazing. But also maybe you're very respectful of the creative process in general of musicians, and you don't want to taint it with ego, perhaps, you know. So it's wonderful, you know. I love it. I think that's amazing when you do that. But sometimes there's this force, and you balance it. And you and I balance it, you know, somehow. Don't ask me how. I'm just an idiot who's lucky. I'm just kidding. I'm not an idiot. But I am very lucky that we balance these things, you know, somehow. I can't explain it necessarily, but you know, he knows when to push, when not to push, and it's amazing. And it's so helpful. Sometimes I have to push him, like, Danut, come on, man, everything you give me, it's gold. Come on, man. And I'm like, dude, give me something, give me. And he's like, all right, if you must insist. And then there's some Jansen there. And sometimes I know I should leave it alone, and I don't say anything, you know. That was a great gem, for instance, like the ghost zipping from one side to the other, and it's like, yes, that's where that is. That ghost existed before I discovered this piece, because I don't like my music, you know, in a little sense. I just discovered that stuff. That stuff, you know, it's out there somewhere. And these things, there's these archetypes, so to speak, you know, what's the, I forgot the name of the psychologist who came up with that concept of archetype. These things predate Danut and Leo and Piano and Bastille the Argos, all these projects and Mozart and whatever. They are there somewhere, you know, and it's like a law of nature, you know. And then I'm just an explorer. Like, I have a camera and I'm going in, oh, look at this beautiful animal. I take a picture and I put it on YouTube. That's what we're doing. But then Danut tells me, you know, yes, that's it. But if you do it from this angle, you're going to see more of the animal, of that beautiful creature, and people are going to understand better what you're trying to share. And it's amazing. That ghost thing that zips it, you know, from left to right, and you know, it's so perfect. And it's not criticism, you know, per se. So wonderfully put. And I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't know if you have anything else that you want to mention. I mean, we're at the main, like, melody, the main theme, right? The most recognizable melody. So
I guess for a while I thought that, you know, music has to be perfect, and perfect in a sense that I wasn't sure what that meant. I was too young, and it's not a competition, you know. It's people enjoy music at all levels, and you know, everywhere, in the marketplace, in the shower, in the restaurant, and it's everywhere in our lives and in all forms, and people just love to express it, and there's just nothing wrong with anybody expressing music, and that's wonderful. Like art, you know, is there something wrong with color on a canvas? It's sound in space. Can it be wrong? I mean, I don't know. Maybe if it's like, if the music is composed of, I don't know, like car parts clanking together, or I don't know what could be the noisiest, you know. Anyway, let's not go there. But
no, that's great. That's great. I love it. I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt.
I think I just wanted to kind of wrap that thought and say that there's just expression of art, of music, of dancing, of movement, martial arts, sports too. There's creativity in people, and it's good to be expressed, and I appreciate Leo's artwork, and it's just when you listen to this song and you hear the inspiration, and I mean, you put a lot of thought into this song. I can tell, and a lot of work. I know from listening from one mix to the other, from one take to the other, how it evolves, and it has a beautiful shape, and it like from beginning to end. I think everyone will enjoy it, who will discover this.
Yeah, thank you.
It's gonna be.
That's beautiful, brother. Thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thank you for the kind words. I want to remind people why I introduced Danut in the way. It's no accident at all that I introduced him to you guys in a certain way. And if you may, brother, I want to revisit that for a second, because what you just said reminded me of this and why I introduced you like that. You said, I thought music was very serious. It had to be perfect. I was very young. He has come now full circle. He's a super pro, and then came back to this, and he's a wise person that has gone through all these things to music. And there's a lot of people who take a different path, like me, hello. And then I go through very different things, but then we arrive at the same point, Maybe I was thinking music isn't that serious, and I had, like you, I was very young. I didn't know better, and I'm like, I'm too smart and so silly. Why am I going to spend time in the conservatory when I know what I want to do and this and that? And then I'm like, oh, geez, I'm actually regretful of many things for a while, but then I was young, so I started thinking, I can go back and study, and guess what I did? I did just that. So I didn't go back to the conservatory, but I just went back to music and studied more with maestros and on my own. And I'm still doing that to this day and age. Danut is doing the same thing. And we're now at a point in which we're very much in sync, because we have this balance of seriousness and playfulness, and that's why this is so much fun. If we were just serious and nothing else, this podcast would be very boring, but also if it was all play, then it would also be super boring. It would just be a couple of goofy dudes not doing anything that great, But what we have, it's this amazing interplay of life. Music is life. Life is music. Where we're both of us have this sense of seriousness, and we arrived at that point from very different places, but then we are also understanding that it's a dance. Actually, that's your word. It's a dance. It's a dance between seriousness and play. And to me, it's amazing that we get to do this, really. Sometimes we were talking about, we need your license, your subscriptions, and your donations and all of that. We really do, because, it's important work for that very reasons, because it's serious and playful. But that's also what makes it so important, because that's what life is about. When you listen to us talking and playing music, this is basically what people are doing out there. They're playing, they're being serious, and they're playing, and they're a lot of times doing it at the same time. And when they match that, balance, it's beautiful, and they do wonderful things. Whether they're designing a product, or they are playing sports, right? Or they're being parents, it doesn't matter. It's seriousness and play, And I was saying, I don't really think I'm that talented. I'm actually completely honest here, guys. I really don't think so. I'm being honest, but I do feel very lucky, extremely lucky, that I enjoy these things that I discover. So to me, it's the love of music is arising from that, from the fact that this stuff was there. Danut, which was mentioning, that he likes the shape of the piece, right? That it starts in a way and then it's familiar, but then it changes. The whole thing, it's aesthetic, I agree. But, you know, was it me? I don't think so. It's just something in nature that I was lucky enough to see and put it here. I'm just an instrument, basically. The piano is an instrument. I am also an instrument, and music is just kind of like doing its thing. There's no eureka moment, per se. There's no, like, there's this egotistical moment in which I go like, oh yeah, I'm so good, you know, like some rappers do, and that's great. Maybe, I mean, actually some of them may be geniuses. It's my loss for not understanding with what some rappers and hip hop artists do. I really want to get more into it because I'm really the one who's at a loss. You know, I'm the one. If you don't understand certain type of music creation, in my opinion, I don't know what you think, Danut, but you're the one who's really, it's my loss, you know, because people are having a great time, you know.
There you go.
There you go.
You're very good.
You're very good at that. Danut is really good at enjoying every genre. He's incredible, you know. So, but yeah, again, no VIP passes required, you know, because we all got this music in us, and that's how this happens. There's a lot of people who mentioned this before, you know. I'm thinking of, you know, Leonard Bernstein, Keith Jarrett, Sultan Kodavi, the education guy. You know, there's so many people who have talked about this before, and it's pretty great, you know. Anyhow, I don't know if you want to add something else or
Well, my friend. So I found a criticism, finally. I looked very hard and I found one.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to do with music, or it's just like admin, basically. Sheet music administration. When you write sheet music, if anybody out there is composing or arranging, and you are starting and you are just discovering maybe Sibelius or a different software. I use MuseScore, I use Sibelius, I try Dorico. They're great. Keep the bars together, for example, in a passage that, like pretty much any passages, keep them visually together. For example, there is this passage here that one bar is at the bottom of the page. It's a very fast passage of 16 notes, and it's just one bar down there, and then the rest of the passage goes up higher on the next page. And of course, it's playable, it's fine, but it makes it more difficult to, you know, in that quick time, you know, it's like it goes pretty fast. So my advice for Leo and for anyone editing music, and I had to learn how to do that. It's not that easy, but with a little bit of Google help, I guess.
Yeah, you know, and I'm so glad we're doing this, because I actually asked you that before, and now that I think of it, it's just common sense. You know?
Yeah, many things are common sense, but they're like not that obvious, you know, when there are just so many things that are important. And this is just like a small detail. It's not that important. But anyway, that was my criticism. It's not really a criticism. It's just like a little admin.
What happens is, you know, I am a little bit of a loner composer, you know, and I only work with you, and you have been so, and Sunset Strings. So basically, you know, I've recorded you, you know, so many times. I have layers of you. I have basically virtual instruments of violin parts, you know, an entire violin section. And it's just you know, at different distances from the microphone over the years. So, you know, it's a different time and age, and Danut has been really accommodating with me over the years, so much that sometimes I forget that, hey, I should have some sort of basic courtesy. Remember that he's a human reading, you know, a score, and it would be nice if the score had those passages in a freaking single page. You know, it kind of makes sense. So I'm so sorry. It's funny that you mentioned it, but it's also, I apologize. It's completely.
You don't have to apologize. This is all a learning experience, and just do better next time. It's gonna be fine. But it's also important, like because we are moving in a professional world, and we are working with others, and we want to make other people's lives easier, other professional people their lives easier when they see the score. So yeah, I think
those little details are
in the orchestra parts, because you use instruments other than the violin and in the score, so that would be cool to have it all published, so available for everyone to enjoy it, hands-on, but also in a professional situation, if this ever comes up, to have some neat parts.
Yes, absolutely. That's so valuable, Danut. Thank you. And it also is valuable for another reason too, that I'm not sure we've mentioned it. I want to mention it again. The other reason that feedback that you're giving me is valuable is because it also underlines how we do the best we can, and we always strive to improve. Because again, we come from very different backgrounds. So it's very helpful. We help each other. I feel that I'm the lucky one, that he's the one helping me big time. And he tells me the same thing all the time. Leo, thank you. Let me buy you dinner for your whole family. I'm like, are you kidding me,
yeah,
brother?
Of course.
No, of course. Thank you.
I mean, you did it. And we've been through such hard times together and good times together, and
right. No, I get you. But what's interesting, very interesting and very valuable from that commentary regarding, being a little more professional, is that we don't let it stop us. We're friends, of course, but I think Danut could work with anybody, really. If he could work with me, he could work with anybody. I don't know, but all jokes aside, we are friends, so it's easy to be patient with friends, You're not always going to have that luxury. Obviously, I have that big luxury because, I've met him for a very long time. You're very much younger when we first met. But the other lesson here that I want you guys to appreciate, especially younger audiences, is don't let that stop you. Let's say that you're like me, for instance, that you really know what you're doing. So should you be paralyzed and really learn how to write a perfect score, maybe a little, but not 100%, because then you're not going to do anything. Understand that it's important to always improve, like Danut just said. That's why I love so much what you said. Yes, it's serious, it's important. Go into that direction, but do not stop. Get moving. Keep moving. Some people may get upset maybe, or they may, be like, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm at a different level. I don't want to work with you. Fine, keep moving, keep doing it. Keep doing it like Danut and I did, and we some of the music that we did with piano, I had the opposite experience, or the same experience actually, but in reverse. Like Danut's, for instance, some of the solos that you did for A Dream of a Distant Dusk, or where you were improvising, Danut was very good at improvising, but he didn't know it, or he didn't, care to admit it to himself, really. And it was funny because he was giving me all these gems, and I was recording them, and I'm like, keep going, but he was like, no, man, that's terrible, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's terrible, keep doing it. It's horrible, you gotta keep doing it. And then, because I was having the time of my life, I pulled that session the other day, and it was a bunch of tracks with really ridiculous, super cool stuff. You were really, going at it, but you didn't believe it. And I was like, no, dude, it's amazing. You're gonna make me cry. It's giving me chills. It's so good. And I know, part of it was funny because he you respected me as a musician, even when I was younger, but it's easy not to believe a person from my background that you're good, because what degree do I have in violin performing to tell you? But I am a musician. I am a musician more than anything else. I am a musician. I think it's just sometimes people can tell. Oh yeah, that guy's a musician. It's just it's one of those things that screams at you. So Danut, you respected the fact that this was this soul, this twin soul, so to speak, musician soul. Tell me you're very good. I've met a lot of people who try to do what you just did, and they fail miserably. And what you did was amazing. So did he get paralyzed? Did he not do it? A little bit. He was a little bit too, trapped into his own things. Did he stop? Absolutely not. I was so proud of him. We were really young too, 20-some, but he was just like, okay, whatever. And he kept going. He was really tired at the end.
We
I
did
remember.
10 sessions, didn't we?
But, yeah.
Or how many sessions?
We worked
did
a lot, yeah,
quite a
I
few.
don't know.
Like
10 tracks.
Or how many
10
times
tracks?
did I come to your place? I don't remember. We did 10 tracks.
Oh, many times. It must have been, for a whole year maybe, or at least 8 months or something like that. And you would come at least once a week, and take breaks and, you got sick of me at some point because I was looking at you and you're like, stop looking at me because I feel stagnant. And
Oh man, I was sight reading this stuff. It's like not sight readable. You have to really practice it. And thanks, Leo, for your hard parts, but they are worth it. Yeah, I mean, you can tell Leo does not write from like who would be like that? Like I guess Beethoven would be like to put together the Lego parts and really sit there and think through and scrap the 1,000 parts. No, Leo just sits at the piano and he flows and he finds his way. He's just intuitively, and it's great. That's what it is. That's it.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And we don't let it stop us, whatever it is, Sometimes there's a lack of technical knowledge like me, or there's something else, something technical, emotional, personal, whatever. But, that's the lesson. Don't stop. Keep going. Don't let it paralyze you, because music is out there, and all you have to do is, be grateful that you are alive to enjoy it and share it. So please put it in the comments, and if you're a musician, put your piece in the comments. We want to listen to it too, and hopefully do an episode about the music that you guys are sharing with us. Violinists, composers. That's, again, music is life, guys. You're just chilling with us. You're hanging out, talking about these things, getting better, improving at the same time. We're playing. We're serious at the same time. Let's keep listening. Okay, go. Okay.
That's one of my favorite parts. This G. It's actually E flat minor, E flat major, right?
Really? Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it,
That's such a
friend.
great change from where it came from. So what key are we here?
And A minor. but we're getting close to the part where we change. Did we listen to the same part?
No, I think we're good. It was just I wanted to point out that transition that was my favorite.
Yeah.
That E flat. That
that's
E
what I
flat.
thought.
It's really good because it's subtle and so it goes in piano. It starts like it's a total change of mood. It's
Gotcha.
very nice.
Yeah.
How'd you come up
yes,
with that? It's
yeah.
from like A minor to E flat. Like
I had no idea. But I'll tell you something. It's definitely a shift, and the part before that, it was a little bit of a very familiar shift, just a development. It's a subtle one, nothing too crazy, nothing that's going to knock you off your feet or anything like that. It's just like a gentle nudge in a new direction, which is typical in music. You don't want to do the same thing over and over again because it's sort of interesting to change it, so it's a basic harmony change. But there's a point at which you're sort of creating something else, right? So without forcing much, when you're fully to that E flat, especially in the lower register, it's just a very nice change. I mean, it's very close in the circle of fifths. Harmonically speaking, it's right there. It's the neighbor. It's not quite your family, but it's very close, and it just got this feeling, I guess it's easier to, what I love about music, again, this is just the love of music. This is why it's so nice. We're always progressive, right? Trying to change it into something else. So before we hit that part, which I haven't played it yet here. You played a little bit on your end. But right before that, I was already starting this natural progression. You're like watching through a forest and seeing trees and, you expect some developments. It's like when kids start exploring the world around them, turning everyday objects into instruments or something like that. And then they're banging on tables and pots and everything makes a sound. And they're really discovering something. It's a process of discovery. And then there's the silence, and the parents are like, "Okay, are you guys dead? Where's the loud noises that you have me accustomed to now? Are you dead or what?" This is something like that. There was a development. Maybe nothing crazy, of course, like that example, but you do want to enjoy. That's the. I don't want to sound like a craftsman, because I'm not really having that conscious experience. I'm just enjoying this, and I wanted to go into that forest and see that development, and I found it there. It was not something I created. It was there, and it was that shit from a change into something that is like, oh, okay, what's this right here? And that's what I can say. But obviously, again, the music expresses it better, and you just improvise and like a cameraman looking for a good angle, whatever. So, yeah, I really like that. This reminds me of New Age music from, Wisconsin and like North, United States, like the Narado Records and Windham Hill Records. It's something that I was into. My dream was to be one of a New Age musician that got signed with those labels. I got a lot of friends and listeners that actually discovered my music. Our music, because you play violin on a lot of those pieces, because they were fans of Windham Hill and Narada Records. And this was like David Lance, for instance, would do things like this. And it's that's the influence right there. It's not quite that, but I remember hearing those simple arpeggios, because they're kind of arpeggios, right? And that you could call harmonies. I mean, that you could call melodies or really effects. They're like effects. They're not quite a melody. It's more like an effect. And it's like a net, like it's
Is it a bit
it's
Celtic
predictable.
in
There's a lot of
flavor?
points.
Do I sense that?
Yes, it's yes, yes, exactly. Do I think about those things? No, they just show up, and sometimes they sound cheesy to me, to be honest with you. But
What's
I'm
your
a
favorite
highly
cheese,
cheesy
by the way?
person. I'm a tacky, cheesy composer, and I'm proud of it. My favorite cheese, yeah, that's my favorite cheese. Right there, those but I do have to control myself. Like sometimes I can have too much of it. It's like like eating too much sugar. Like, what am I doing? I gotta stop. but that was subtle, and I thought, I kind of liked it. So that's what I can say about that piece. It's a development that brings you into this romantic Celtic, pseudo Celtic thing. It's it's destiny, something you can't avoid your nature. It's destiny. This piece is about destiny. Parabola Destinare. So you can't escape from your cheesiness.
All right,
that's who I
grilled
am.
cheese then.
All right, so should we play on? Go.
Oh yeah, the gliss and the growl, and now gliss. Romantic, vibrato, lush,
right.
cinematic.
I don't know. I mean, we're stepping into sort of new territory.
Yeah, that's
we already
pretty
mentioned
awesome,
that.
that
It's,
passage.
so
Just-
you
Brilliant. Genius.
come on, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's just, nature is brilliant. Nature is beautiful, man. I think it's still nothing too wild. But it's definitely more of a leap than before, right? So we had some basic, very familiar, and now it's a little, again, not too wild, but definitely more of a leap, and we're moving into a harmony that's out of the familiar. But what this really screams to me, it's exploration. It's like we're exploring, and part of destination, Parabola Destinare, right? I always vibe with these things, and music speaks to me very clearly, when I have these ideas. So this part is obviously about exploration, it's discovering, and it's we're venturing into the unknown, so to speak, and that's what this section is about. It starts off softly, right, with a different structure, harmonic structure, gradually pulling you into something new and hopefully exciting, it may also be for some people who are not into this type of music, which is okay. They sometimes tell me that parts like this become dull, like a little boring. I don't mind. That's actually good because I wanted it to be sort of dull, or not dull, but it's soft, it's slow, and you need those, ups and downs to marvel at the music of the cosmos, because that's really what it is. So it may be something very simple, but it's like have you read about string theory, by the way? Being a musician,
remind me
like,
what this
in
is
physics,
about.
String theory. That stuff was super trippy to me. Yeah, so the strings theory, basically, when we're talking about melodies that we hear every day, like the crash of waves, or the poem that you were reading to me before we started recording, the rustle of leaves, it's nice, but the deeper, more ethereal you were talking about the deeper, the more ethereal symphony that underlies the entire universe, in a way, from poetry. And, imagine everything around you, not just as matter and energy, but as part of an infinite concert. Because I really trip like that every day. I'm tripping every day like that. Like, to me, everything is music, imagine this cosmic orchestra, and the instruments are the very strands of reality itself. That's what the strings theory is about. And it's fascinating because it's an unproven thing, very popular as far as I understand it. I'm not a physicist, but it's very popular. It's an idea that suggests that the universe's deepest mysteries are composed literally on tiny vibrating strings, like the instrument you're holding in your hand, or, this piano. And it resonates and in the fabric of space and in your violin and in here. And those vibrations actually create what we perceive as matter, and it's not really poetic musing. It's beautiful for
real,
sure.
yeah.
But, it's
our
serious
reality.
physics, These people are... Yeah, I mean, these are serious people, and it sounds like a cool sci-fi symphony, but these are serious people, and the particles, the building blocks of the universe are actually minuscule vibrating strings. Each tiny oscillation determines the properties, like if you vibrate, you have a guitar sound, or you vibrate in a certain way and you use a bow, then you have a violin sound. Now imagine that on a cosmic scale, that every element of reality, from the atoms in your coffee, to the distant stars, it's basically a universal vibrato sort of thing, a symphony that we're only beginning to understand. Or I don't care about understanding it, actually. I just like it. I enjoy it, I describe it because it's fun, and you let me rant about these things, and hopefully you guys too. But it's just fun. It's just fun to know that we are all just musicians, all of us, and this section is about that. It's exploration, the unknown, underlined by those notes there in your... Yeah. And especially instrumental music, you're not a singer, I'm not a singer, we're instrumentalists in a way, I have a very big love for instrumental music because it's more primal. When you speak, you're way more high level, you're actually articulating things that are way more sophisticated in a way, because you're using human language and a lot of metaphors, which is wonderful, of course, but instrumental music is very quiet. Whatever. Something like that, right? But it's something that you don't need a whole lot of schooling or introduction. You're engaged with it from the moment you were born. So it's the symphony of life. Music is life, brother. Music is life. So and go. Okay, let's stop it there for a sec. So,
and then the piano. So we just came out of that dark forest that in the E flat, and so there the piano, it says piano less vibrato at first, and then free tempo, improvisational a bit, return to the soft growl, and then this forte, structured, precise, secure. It's like a build-up to this other section, which I think it's in B flat. Is it in B flat?
Right. Yeah. That's good.
And we're back to C major.
Yeah.
Romantic, vibrato, lush, cinematic. This is kind of your original style through and through. Yeah. Great stuff. Some
still
really
cheesy at heart.
good changes of harmony. Just it's a beautiful journey.
It's funny because when I actually upload music videos, we get very little views actually, but we upload talks and people wanna listen to what musicians have to say. But if we don't talk about music, it's maybe not as interesting. So it's very, very cool actually. I enjoy these. I'm not, resenting the fact that people want to they see music as something very, very much as a given, and they should. A lot of people are like, and I understand that you have to work very hard on music sometimes, but it's that paradox that's beautiful, and sometimes when you don't accept music as a given, something for granted, then life is not maybe that fun. Maybe you have something else, but I think that there's value in seeing that paradox. Yes, music is something to really work hard at, but again, you should understand that this is part of everybody, and anyway, really quick, that segment, yes, I am talking about hype. You mentioned that, hype. It's hyping us for the next part, and it was hard to mix actually, because, you played it perfectly. I'm still mixing it actually. The piano is very forte, and it should be. But then when you have strong notes in the piano, the lower register, then it kind of overwhelms things unless you have a live orchestra with a conductor, because on the two speakers, left and right, you have very limited space. So it's like, it's very, very, very hard to mix. So I'm still struggling with it, but I don't want to eliminate it.
Doing a good job, man. Throughout the years, you like some incredible stuff.
Thank you, brother. It's just very, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest with you, with that segment, because the piano sometimes overwhelms the beautiful playing that you did. But then when I remove it, it's like, but anyhow, it's hype. We're hyping ourselves and the listener to the next part. It's all about hype. Those few seconds from 2:13 to 2:35, that's hype. When you step into the cool hero of the story, or you don't need something very tangible necessarily, but that there's something coming, and that's what this is somehow. That's funny. I mean, music is fantastic. It's this raw, messy thing, or life could be very raw and messy, But then you have something like this that hypes you for something else, and you just keep going. That's what I tried to do with this, and maybe I'm weird. I don't know, but it does that. Like when I listen to that, it reminds me of messy stuff that they were like forcing it, like no. And we had this hype, like, and the octaves on the left hand, yeah, etc. So it's like, wow, yeah, and don't you dare leave, because there's something else coming, but then is. That was the hype. What the hype was for? Sure, just like life, it's a mess. There's a bunch of things going on, and you sometimes have to build some hype for something that is just you looking at the mirror and telling yourself, yes, you can do it, and you're a badass. And then at the end of that moment of explosive energy, just have a tender moment of okay. And obviously you'll get it, you know, because you read minds somehow, and you you played it beautifully. Those long notes at the end, and you know, I didn't really have a whole lot of instructions other than those trippy comments that I make. That I hope they're useful for you, my friend.
Yeah, they were very helpful to find out the character, because yeah, the details, they're important.
It's so, I'm so lucky that you read minds, brother. Let me just say that. Don't be like me. For you guys out there, be specific. Mezzo piano, you know, pianissimo. Put the articulations, okay? Yes.
I help the situation, but I don't read minds. I don't think so. I read music.
You know, it's
I read in between the notes.
You see the two words clashing here, you know, and again, I feel so lucky that we have this friendship where you allow that to happen, and I know it rubs you probably the wrong way sometimes, but it looks like we're enjoying this work together. So hopefully, I'll keep getting better, you know, and
me too. I hope to get better too.
Well, you do get better, you know. It's you're full of surprises, my friend. Okay, and go.
I love the layering here. I probably listened to a whole minute, right? Yeah, more than a minute. I got, anyway.
327.
What was the passage?
I stopped at 327.
Oh, really? Me too.
Okay, good.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. Wow. This. So I didn't have time, honestly. And if you listen to the recording, we recorded it very, very quick. We barely had any time. And I wish I had more time to actually dig into the harmonies, to write them down on the score, and to really discover the beauty of this music. Because the more I listen to it, I know there's stuff there, like the iceberg. It's really incredible work, man. Good stuff. What do you want to say about this?
To me, you know, wow, Danut, I mean, you're a legend, brother. That's I know, you know, there's some difficult passages here, but you know, this is
it's the passage with the bar on the bottom, and yes, yeah. Tell me about that passage, Leo. I want to hear about that passage more. No, really, I wish I could nail that better, because it's just good. It's like great music. It's good stuff.
Music is great, brother. Music is great. Is absolutely, man. I'm just so happy when I sit on the piano and I find these things. You know, just like when we found your friendship. You know, when I met you back in we're gonna have a little bit of a bromance here.
I think your wife is listening from.
Well, that was a lucky moment for me too, very much so. Yeah, it's just music is great. You said it's great music. Yet I couldn't agree more a bit because music is great, and I'm just so happy to be along for this ride. But mostly because, your performance, that's you're in the ride with me, and I want to underline what you said. We have very little time. You have this amazing large business, very successful business, I must say. It's rare to see, somebody with the level of success that this guy has. It's not surprising because I know him, so I'm not surprised that he has that level of success. But in general, it's difficult, to achieve the things that he has. And the reaction that
I
he's
just
having...
don't see myself that way, but that's okay, Leo.
Of course,
thanks for the...
I know. I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. Shut up. The thing of it...
Let's talk more about music. I think it's more
I will.
interesting.
No, that's
for
what I'm
everyone.
getting. That's what I'm getting. But the fact of the matter is that we're both very busy. That's not the point. That's boring topic as a topic for sure. I agree. The point that I'm trying to make is that did that stop us? No. We still have time to chill and enjoy these things, and we made it happen. And this segment, I'm talking about the music now. Is all about that. So when we're younger, right, we sometimes hear music and we think it's like a soundtrack for our lives, and we put headphones and we go walk or work out or whatever. But as we grow older, it becomes like a toolkit, a way to navigate the ups and downs and challenges and celebrations and things that life throws at us. And that's the point that I'm trying to make. There's always time for good stuff like this, and it's very, very easy in the sense that it's so good that we do it, and literally the music actually talks about stuff like that. We had that segment just now that is. But then it grows again into that stronger thing. The ups and downs, challenges, patterns, but it's not random, right? It's very difficult to put into words. It's a bridge. This is a bridge, right? Obviously, this is a bridge. This is not something that you could call I like how you refer to the music that we do, like to a song. If there's no lyrics, but it's like a song, right? This would be the bridge of a song, and it's not the chorus, it's not the verse, right? It's a bridge, very much like a song, and it has been building from the beginning, right? It had a moment that it went crazy, but it's still building, and it's not resolved. Everything we've listened to has been always building. There has been absolutely no resolution, and I wanted it that way,
So how did you do that?
Because
can you explain? Like you meant it, and so how did you make it happen?
I thought you've never asked. Just kidding. Ouch. I find it amazing how music can sort of do this on its own, but that's not helpful for people listening.
Yeah, no,
right?
but you actually did something. People would like to maybe hear how you did it.
Yes, so it's not like I mastered some secret technique. Like I mentioned, I'm just lucky that these things I stumble upon. But to answer your question in a useful way, because I do want to give people value here, there's a ton of improvisation, a ton of it. And yes, and it's just like you being a photographer in the forest finding cool shit to take a picture of, excuse my French. but that's really what I'm doing. And it doesn't really come in the order that you present it to your public, your audience later. Sometimes, actually, the very first thing that came to me when I was out in the forest looking for cool birds and beautiful flowers was like that. And then, but immediately that gave me a feeling of, oh, that's actually sort of stating something. It's a strong statement, right? That needs a whole bunch of introduction because it's beautiful, it's important, it's hopeful, and if you just throw it on someone's face like that, it's like giving you a gourmet meal to somebody who's it just maybe working and is not even paying attention, that they just want some calories and they missed that they had this wonderful meal. To me, that was like that. It's very simple, by the way, but I really liked it. It was, but definitely, and that came first to answer your question. That's the process. Because you asked me how do you put these things together? That came first.
The whole
everything
song?
Else. Yeah, of the whole piece, the entire piece, this thing first. And that's what follows after what we just listened to. So that part that we just listened to, which is or something like that, right? Sounds like the perfect introduction, but that came way later. Way later. But it also came naturally. I was like, okay, this walk structure that I found in this forest must have come from a natural phenomenon elsewhere. And then you keep digging, oh yeah, here, I can see that there's other walks like that. And they, and they fit together and there's whatever, it makes sense that way. So who's the judge of that? I don't know, because I'm an amateur musician in a way, in a lot of ways I am. In some others I'm not. Let's be honest, I've had great maestros and I don't want to insult them. By not, I think deserve a lot of credit, 100%, including the National Conservatory of Music in Colombia. It was wonderful, But to be honest with you, this is something where you are the judge. You are musical from nature, from birth. So you're just improvising, and you put all this stuff together in your head and you enjoy it, and then, oh, they would be cool. It's like jazz musicians, it's basically the same thing, but a little more structured. So that's the beauty of music, it's just mess around with the piano and have fun, and it gives you jewels, it's just, yeah, man. Oh, you know what else? This part was actually, I get very emotional about these things, and I'm no poet. I'm not really that great with words. I mean, I'm not terrible, I guess, but it's like when your parents talk to you in that tone of voice that signals something important is happening. No matter how naughty you are or you were as a kid, it's that tone that made you stop and listen, right? Because you knew deep down that this was serious. And most of the time, kids are like, I know whatever, they don't listen. But then your parents use a certain tone, and even kids like that, most of them will be like, okay, I guess this is something we need to listen to. That's what this music reminds me of, a director like that. Like it starts like, come here, honey. I know, maybe they're sick or something, I don't know. I get like synesthesia with these things. Okay, it's okay, baby, wake up, it's important, mommy's sick, we have to go to the hospital, or something, and there's other things, but it's everything, it's gonna be okay, and then the shit gets serious, like lower scale, and it's a lament. This is a lament, obviously it's going down, right?
High G.
Yeah. It's definitely a lament.
That's so awesome. And like whatever is happening there, heavy stuff, da 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 da. And this is just like
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly. And it's just music. You know, it's not me. You know, it's music has that same power. It's beautiful. It's paradoxical. It's sad because this is a lament, but it's hopeful too. You know, again, that's why I mentioned it's like when your parents talk to you like, hey, I know this is very, very sad. It's going to be okay. We love you. It's a little sad, but it's hopeful too. You know, be a big man, you know. I hear all of that. And when you play the violin, and I was just listening to this right now, it gives me chills because it's that's the sort of very strong feelings that it evokes in me. And you know, when I play with the synth violin, even the samples that you have done over the years that I've captured, it's not the same when you're far from when you actually play it. It's like, oh, okay, now I remember why this is so freaking amazing. Why
it's not a machine.
I need to do this forever and just until the day I die, because you know it's so cool and you send me videos. We're gonna do a music video and that part is beautifully captured also. You know, and the various camera angles that you gave me. So very cool, brother. It's beautiful, brother. Beautiful. Yeah. I miss this so much. I miss creating with you. You're incredible. Can't wait to keep doing this for a long time. I can't wait to
get to work.
Do a bunch of music with you.
This is awesome. I mean, this is the pleasure to play and to talk about. So, yeah, let's keep doing this.
Yes, please. All right. So 325 to 423.
Oh, actually, before we move on, I wanted to maybe talk about these two bars that are like very tricky. They're probably the trickiest thing that you wrote here, other than the crazy second violin. But just for like a minute to talk about how to decompose that and to put it back together fast, because when I first saw it, I saw fast notes and it's a fast tempo, and probably it sounded something like which is like a nice chest, but let's grab, you know, smaller brushes, paint brushes, and like do fine work there. So the way I was taught by my teachers, talking about teachers and maestros, I'm grateful for my teachers for what I was able to learn from them. And one way to play fast passages is to actually play slow passages. So you take it and note by note, you go. And so all the way to the top. And then you take two notes at a time. And then you mess up, so you go back and fix it. And lighten up the load. And you're there. And then so on. But then what you can do is to really, really speed up your fingers, is doing these rhythms. And the reverse. When you really focus at each and every note and each and every brick, Lego brick. I'm here in Winter Haven, Legoland, and music is kind of like a building structure. In many ways, it's like our architecture and like many other art forms, and disciplines, sciences. It's a science, but it's not really a science. But it has a lot of math in it, but the math is not precise. It's approximate somehow. It's like an average or median of things put together, and then you can have the extremes of music too. So that was just a quick tip for violin fans.
To me, that's the highlight of the podcast. Yeah, because I got to see the HD version of that. Because you sent me the full progress from zero to finish.
Oh yeah, I was practicing. I just let the recording, I think, go, and
that was the best thing. It was great.
Yeah, you really heard all my mistakes and behind the scenes. It's like cooking, the kitchen. Sometimes you don't want to see what the cook is doing there behind the scene, but sometimes.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, but like you said before, to me, it's not really a negative thing to say. It's more like a natural progression, It rubs us the wrong way sometimes, like you just mentioned, like just saying that is like, no, but it was, to me, it was wonderful to see, because what you just explained now, she had to do, again, busy guy, which is a boring topic, but it's relevant because extremely busy guy, and he had to do that in a compressed amount of time, and I got to see that whole process. I have it on video. I'm going to share some of it if you're okay with that. Some of it. And I want to add something that was really cool to what you just said. Again, I made the point that you don't want to stop. You want to work with what you have, and you want to continue, and don't get paralyzed by analysis, or you always want to improve and do your absolute best, but don't stop. Some people stop. That's another thread that we've been weaving in this talk, right? It's different talking about it, and it's a whole more valuable thing, seeing it, and he did it basically. That's very limited resources, time resources, and he put it there. So because I didn't want to stop, I told him, and we can cut this later if you're not cool, but I think it's super interesting. Like I told him, this may sound mediocre for some classical musicians, but again, I don't want to stop. I want to get moving. I want to get stuff done. So I told him, listen, record it at a very low speed, or something like that, like the chunks that you did when you were practicing, and I'll put them together, and I'll keep going. I don't want to stop. I have to continue. I will get better later, and we always get better anyway. We're getting older, so I'm not sure how long that's going to last, but it seems to be working. But the point is, guess what? I didn't do any of that. I actually ended up using the segments that you actually wanted to perform organically the better way. And I spent so long, it's such a long time, putting together all the chunks and speeding up the slow parts. None of it worked. What actually
good. If
worked
you
is
doctor
when you
it
actually
too much, it's just. And even now, in the mix today, this morning, I think I mentioned it, but I'm hoping to just have like one clean take of that, and because I think you layered some of the takes, like 2 or 3 violins for volume, for body. It's nice, but I think they don't sound that great together on this fast passage. Maybe if you layer, like, let's say 12 of them together, or like a whole section. But I think if it's just like 2 or 3, or I'm not sure how many, but I heard, and it's not that clean. I like it.
I agree.
Yeah, more clean. And if you want me to re-record it, I'll be happy to.
Dude, it's up to you. You're a busy guy. I've been saying it.
Yeah, no, I think we did take enough takes in the very short amount of time. But I'm hoping you don't have to chop, like one note from here, I mean,
Yeah. No, it doesn't work. I didn't do it. I ended up doing it the organic way, but since I don't want to stop, I try everything, and yeah. But
this was a very
it was
difficult
beautiful,
passage. If anybody will buy the sheet music, maybe Leo wants to make it available later on. It was very difficult, and I had to practice it, and I don't know if I'll take a try in tempo. Let's see what happens. Was that the tempo?
To me, honestly though, it sounds beautiful, and it's what I intended and more. To be honest with you, you guys really want to understand that it's not easy to have a world-class violinist who's willing to work with you and do these things. That stuff doesn't happen. It happened to me. I kind of won the lottery with this friend of mine, but it's very difficult stuff, and I have tried in the past, paying good money too, and it's hard. So the more the more you appreciate it. That's why some people are looking at us talking here, and they read, "Oh, Leo is just hyping the notes because he wants the podcast to do well or whatever." No, absolutely not. I mean it. I won the lottery. I'm so lucky because of him and the fact that he's helping us bring this to reality, but also because I get to sit at my piano and discover these things and have such a great time. And that's why we're doing this, because we want you to join the fun. So, yeah, man. Good stuff. All right, my beloved. So hit me with it. Do you want to keep going, or?
Let's keep going.
320. It's the Climax. It's what I was playing here. 325 to 423. And go.
Very nice. That's a cool practice.
What do you hear? What do you hear, my friend?
Well, I'm looking at the first violin part, and I was like, doesn't match what I hear, because this good stuff is in the second violin, actually. So we should talk about second violin a little bit at this point, because it's for the camera. I'm going to show this. This is what Leo's challenge for me was. What are these? Bars. There are too many bars to even count. No, as in those note flags. They're 30-second notes. And so I'm going to go back to the beginning and then come to the passage where we stopped. Yeah, because this is very, very interesting. So Leo wrote a note Ravel style, and he wrote here, "I am curious to see how it sounds." He was curious. Let's try it. If it doesn't work, I can use woodwinds, but I think I prefer violin. So I tried it first, just to kind of read the notes, and I was going. So I practice it, and I realized this is insane. It's too fast, and I never got it in tempo. So I kind of did, and Leo worked some magic, and this is just some kind of behind the scenes magic. What happened here? So what I did when I recorded, I put the loop for this passage on. Is that what I did? And just to kind of tell people what we did here. And I recorded in tempo, just 4 notes at a time. Because I can play 4 notes really fast, but to put them all together in that very, very fast tempo, that was impossible. So it's like you can't really have any, but as an effect, Leo wanted this as a effect, Ravel style. So I got that. It's like it doesn't matter each note; it matters the whole blur of notes. It's not. It's an effect. So we got it. We use a little bit of magic of editing and actual playing. And I think it came out really cool and interesting in the background. So that's the beginning. What you hear, it's from the second violin, and where we got here, the second violin takes over. I can't find it in the part really quick. Maybe around this.
So this section, the violins are silent, or
and it goes to that high C.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so cool! It's so cool, man. How you came with this stuff, and I don't know how you're a genius, and it's awesome.
You're the genius, brother. Thank you. I'm just lucky, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie, brother. This moves me deeply. Deeply. I may end up weeping, brother. This section right here. We talked about it. It's you have the build up, and then you hear just the piano. Right?
So there's no interesting harmonies here. Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah, so it's an F major, and then you have an A note as the bass, and then it goes back to G. But it's pretty formulaic in a way, but it's interesting enough. It makes it sort of mainstream in a way, but like Intelligible. I don't want to do something weird that people are like, but you don't want it to be boring either. So basically, the reason it's so moving to me is because, call it cheesy, call it epic, call it whatever you want, but this is like love speaking directly to you. It's like an engine, like a motor. That's very clear. It's telling you to get up and to get going, and you're a badass. And this is the part of the music where it's like a surge of unstoppable energy, and it reminds you that no matter what life throws at you, that's what I was feeling at the moment, actually. There's a force within you that's infinite and strong, and it's pure hope, and you can turn it into action. And we've talked about this before, as any composer or creative person, you're insecure about the stuff that you make, especially when something's so simple. But it's a combination of factors. It's the tempo, it's the ostinato, ta 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 ta. The formulaic chords that are not weird. It's very familiar to rock music, and the distance, the intervals, and the cheesy sort of new age, sort of Celtic thing that I do with the, those arpeggio effects, melody, whatever we want to call them, but. That stuff, it's just me messing around. But what was going on here was a storm of feelings. I was having some family trouble. I don't want to bore you with the details, but I did run into this poem by Camus, Albert Camus, the French guy. I want to read it because it's beautiful. And this is what, if the music and lyrics these would be the lyrics, and a lot of you probably know it. This is very famous stuff. It says, "It's up and let it, my dear. In the midst of hate, I found there was within me an invincible love. In the midst of tears, I found there was within me an invincible smile. In the midst of chaos, I found there was within me an invincible calm. I realized through it all that in the midst of winter, I found there was within me an invincible summer." And that makes me happy, for it says that no matter how hard the world pushes against me, within me there's something stronger, something better, pushing right back. And that's it. That's very simple, powerful.
Camus.
But it's not trying to be something else. It's just telling you pure, what's the word? Undistilled, organic love. You know, Baddassery mixed with love, and that's what this engine of music does. At F chord, A minor chord, G major, very formulaic, very.
It works, man. It just part of this whole piece that's like, yeah, don't put it down. It's good. Put it up.
It's actually,
I mean, you put it in there, so yeah, you thought it was good enough to be included. So yeah, keep it. It's good.
Absolutely.
It's for sure awesome.
I think it's great to share with people who especially in the AI age where computers do music and whatnot, you know, because people may be very confused about these things, especially when you compose something like, why am I wasting my time composing music when AI can do it? No, they can't. It can. I love it. AI is another musical instrument, and you should play with it and go crazy. Think
it's a
fantastic.
Cool tool. Yeah, it's a tool.
Exactly. But there's still the process of creating music, and there's everything related to it, including the insecurity. And it's always a battle. It's a battle. Should I be really this insecure? Maybe that's hurting me. Maybe I shouldn't. But on the other side, maybe that insecurity is bringing these beautiful things, you know,
you
and
explore.
it's making me try harder. And it's a balance, it's a paradox where you want to welcome both things. Like, shut up, I'm good enough. Yes, let's do it. Let's not stop. But at the same time, okay, well, you know, let's be serious about this. We want to do the best we can. Is this really it? And obviously, is that struggle, that eternal struggle that brings jewels like to me, it's a jewel. You liken to me, it's beautiful because it's not what makes it beautiful. It's not the difficult harmony or the complex music theory behind it, but it's the message. Look at the poem by Camus that I just read. So simple. I found there was within me an invincible summer. It's not giving you weird words and no. It's just, it's plain. I love you. There was within me an invincible summer, and it makes me happy. It just says that with coma. It makes me happy. Come on. And no matter how much pain and grief you want to give me, I'm pushing. So you know, it's beautiful. It's simple. It's perfect. And it's not me. This was a gift that was given to me when I was feeling really, really terrible. And you know, it's a very solitary business, you know, because my wife was busy also, and I share things with her and with friends and with you. But it shouldn't be that solitary. You know, when I finished doing that, I just went like this on the piano and like, thank you. I don't know if I'm weird or what, but this was really good. This was healing big time. And why should I keep it a secret? You know, that's why we're doing this. So when you listen to this piece again and you're going through something, there's something better inside you pushing right back. Remember that. And that's what this is. This segment that we just listened to, and Danut beautifully understood it. You understood it, brother. And with every fiber of your being, Ah, I'm such a lucky dude, man. I'm just a lucky dude. Thank you for giving me that raw power that sacred needed, with also the romantic part of it, because it's very romantic, but it's also simple raw power, and somehow you say you don't read minds, but my instructions are kind of stupid. And then you nail it.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, they're very valuable in like, maybe you don't see it I see it differently, and yeah, anyway, I read through the words, maybe through notes, through, like, I hear it also. I have an instinct too, and follow it, so it's kind of like just follow the music, it's written in. But what I'm saying with these things, that, like, they're not really criticisms, but they could really make the musician's life easier if they were there, because time is just short to learn the music. You have it in your head and you played around with it, and eventually you wrote it down in a form that's transferable to another person. And now this other person has such limited time with it, and resources too, because there's the piano part, but there is no violin. It's just the piano part. And when we started, we didn't even have a click track. Later on, we added a click track, and that was helpful to catch things. But the first few times, I just recorded not too many takes. I think we ended up with like 2 or 3 takes for each passage, and I chunked it in let's see, 15 sections, I should say, kind of like the parts of the song, like the rehearsal numbers. What did I want to say here? I think I was going somewhere.
Yeah, no, the fact that I think you were making a great point, and it's the fact that you don't want to, the way I see it, this is a lesson that I took from you. Sometimes when you're a romantic guy, it was like me, really, really high on music, because I'm high on music. I don't need anything else. I'm just high on music, and I'm 45 years old, and that hasn't stopped. I don't need any, it's the best drug, You may forget that it's a gift to know that there's other people who have gone through that experience, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel every time that you work with other musicians. Call it ego, or call it being extra romantic or cheesy like me, or whatever, oh yeah, I'm giving you this music, and no. Be professional. A lot of people before you have come with that idea. You can just simply market the music, and the sum of the parts will be greater than what you think you're doing, and you'll be very happy with it. So you don't have to be esoteric about it, like very subtle. Just be specific.
Yeah, exactly. But even those esoteric comments are good to be there, because they give, unless you want it vague, and then, people make whatever they want with it. But if you, it's helpful actually to have something. For me, maybe.
Oh, it is. Oh, it's crazy good. And again, we come from different backgrounds, so I am the one. You're the gift that keeps on giving, brother. These things are just helpful to me, and hopefully to everyone here. My trippy rants, I'm not sure. I hope they're helpful for you. The music was really helpful to me. These inspiring passages. That raw power. Of healing power. That's very real to me. Very real. I hope it is for you. So. Yeah, man, that was the climax. That was the big part of it. It's
Healing power.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. To me, it sure is. It's the
The
best
high
there out
C?
there. The high C.
That passage
Yeah.
you're talking about?
Yeah. I mean, the whole passage that we just listened to, all that, you know, and how it ends in that low note, the high C, and the
It's more about this song, and I'm like on the outside a bit. I feel I like the song, and I think I understand it pretty well, but I'm like, my language is like so primitive, you know.
It's not, brother. It's just, that's why we do these things. Because I'm giving you the trippy rant, you're giving me the technical part. And I think that's super helpful for everybody. I wouldn't have it any other way.
This is great to learn more about, like,
Right.
this music and what moves you, and it's very interesting, man. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
'Cause I know it's not easy what you're doing here to talk about your music, yourself, and what this music makes you feel, and what it means to you, and
Right.
talking about it is not easy. I know, because I can't talk about feelings the same way, you know, as openly as you do, and it's great you can put it in words.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's not easy from a certain perspective, for sure. It becomes very easy when you forget about yourself. You know, you don't want to say, you don't get very confused when you start talking about music that you create. Nobody creates music. We just improvise on the piano and we share it with people. You want to call that creation? Call it creation. Fine. I'm fine with it. But again, it's very easy to talk about it when you're just having a blast, being a listener of the music out there already. That's really what I'm doing. And I think it's way more fun to talk about the feelings that it gives me, because that's what's happening to people listening to it. You know, they're, oh, okay, this, I remembered a comment on YouTube, actually. You know, it was something like, I said, thank you for listening. And the guy responded, or the lady, I'm sorry, thank you. Thank you. This has been keeping me going for weeks. Music keeps you going. And he's talking about very personal feelings right there. It keeps me going, keeps me alive, keeps me energetic, keeps me filling the blank. Maybe the blank is truly a blank, but it's not ambiguous. He's talking, or she was talking, about very specific personal feelings. This keeps me going. You know, it's like energy. It keeps me going. It keeps me happy. It keeps me non-depressed, or it keeps me happy as I was before. It doesn't matter. You know, so talking about feelings like that, when you forget about yourself and you're just part of this, you know, life that is music. Music is life. Life is music. Makes it a lot easier. It makes it fun too. Super fun. You know, and I love, again, that you don't do that. I mean, if you want to, that's fantastic. But the fact that you focus on the technical aspect, you know, and I think that's great. The most beautiful thing is that you do express it, and extremely well, actually, but you express it with your playing. And that's what you hear with the best musicians. I was listening to Janine Jansen the other day.
I love her.
You know?
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Great player.
Oh my God, that lady is ridiculous. It's you know, it's exactly what we're discussing. It's like the feelings that she evokes are just so complex in the, but her technique is impeccable. You know, so it's just great, man.
He's a goddess.
It's incredible. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go.
Very nice. Applause, applause, applause. Good. Good work, man. Very nice.
You too, my friend. Very nice. Very nice. So this is goodbye. Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Let's talk about this last passage. I mean, just listening to it now, I heard more things that I haven't heard before. With all the layering, all the layerings, and what inspired this part for you?
Well, it's goodbye. So it's the coda. It's the final bow. And it's like coming full circle with a bit of the main melody making a reappearance. Some syncopation at the end, right? That feels less familiar, but still part of the same. But I think that syncopation part at the end, it feels fine. Like okay, there's no more of that because it's time to stop. I like that it's like a combination, like a journey of change, and again, the idea was to portray destiny, right, and hope. Parabola Destinare. So it ends on a somber minor kind of atmosphere, and I think that makes sense. We had those two notes that to me reeks of destiny, like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. Da-da-da-da, also very simple, just two notes. It's like knock knock, and you get the final exposition of that here. And some, it's like, yeah, destiny is coming. Keep going. Don't forget that you had a very nice movement of hope, and life goes on. There's some syncopation around those two notes that the violins and the clarinet really nicely create. That wonderful final effect. That's it. I think I'm very pleased with this. To me, it's medicine for the soul, like Pythagoras said in English. So yeah, just super happy that we did this, and
good stuff. Like you said, you're still working on the mix as we speak right now. It's still in the process of getting created, and this passage at the end is really cool. I had fun with it, recording it, but it wasn't quite as much fun because it was impossible to have it all together until you're gonna finish the whole, because it's like a puzzle. The violin. I think this is the violin one part, so it goes like this. So while the first violin goes and holds this long note, the other violins are taking over, so it's like a interweaving of things.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how many you put together. You layered them really, really nicely there. So, nice job there.
Thank you.
It's like an echo or some kind of. I'm not sure how this is all gonna sound, but I'm excited to hear the final cut.
Yes. Now that syncopated part I thought was great. I don't know. I just experimented with it. Syncopation, for people listening who are not musicians, it's something unexpected in the rhythm. The accent, it's coming on a different beat in the box that we call measure, or music is divided in boxes, over time, and that gives us that continuity feeling. And you kind of expect a note to fall on a certain part of that box. Could be the beginning or in the middle. Syncopation kind of like betrays that, and it puts it somewhere else. But sometimes it's very interesting. That's something like that is what I try to do here. So he was saying it's like a puzzle because it's like, unless you have a metronome and you're counting, it's non-intuitive, definitely non-intuitive. And I didn't give him a click track. He didn't have a metronome, so for Danut
The
was really
piano
having...
was
Yeah,
pretty good in the beginning, and then
Yeah.
we realized a click track would speed up things.
yeah, it's so funny. I mean, how that happened, I'm not sure. But anyway, thank you, brother. That was really, really, really good. I hope we make a lot more. This was like 3 hours or more. Thank you for your time. I know, this is important work, not just for us. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support throughout the years. This is just the beginning of our journey, actually. And this is but one chapter in this series of Musica's life, I hope. And
Beginning of the
enjoy.
continuation of what we've done for 20 years now. And before that, since we were kids.
It feels like a new chapter to me.
But it's an awesome new beginning for sure. It feels like a beginning, especially with this podcast and
listen.
yeah.
So please hit that like button. We mean it, please, and please subscribe. That's something that you always hear, but it makes a big difference. I think this is a very valuable message for everyone. Don't do it because, we tell you to, but because music is life. It really is. And you really, really start understanding things better the more you do it. The more you subscribe to this type of experiences, your life literally changes because there's things that words can't express, and especially discussing instrumental music, non-lyrical music. It's something that will give you superpowers. It really will give you superpowers, literally. Only a minority of people in the world do this. Only that enough should be extremely valuable for everybody listening. Like, subscribe, share, and comment. When you understand that the language of instrumental music, when there's no lyrics, can express things in ways that nothing else can, you start behaving differently. Because these are literally vibrations, stable tones that we wish together to create beautiful things. Just like we do in life, just like you do at your job, at your family. It requires discipline. It requires all kinds of skills. And it requires for you to be emotionally involved in what you do with your life. So it's also super fun. So I hope you join us again. We'll keep doing this, hopefully every month or so, at least. We'll have a music video.
That'll be awesome.
Yes.
That'll be interesting.
Yes. So until we meet
make
again.
more songs and to talk about them.
Yes, absolutely. Keep singing, keep dancing, keep playing your part in this grand orchestra we call life. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man. Take care of yourself and make more music. And let's meet up again in a month. Indeed, like Leo said, click subscribe and subscribe. I should not do this part. This will probably go in the bloopers if we have any. But seriously, I wanted to say thank you to everyone, and don't subscribe because Leo said so. Subscribe because you want to and because you enjoy what we're doing, and because you love music and life. And music is life, life is music. Thank you, Leo. I'll hand it off to you to close it off.
Should do it. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. We love you. Keep music in your heart.
Love you. Take care.